We're
Good.
good.
Now let's call the meeting to order. Please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Orthwein. Here. Vice Mayor Stanley.
Here.
Mayor Morgan.
Here.
Let it also be known that Commissioner Lyons is absent with notice. And also present today is Town Manager Dunham, Assistant Town Attorney Nazaro, Chief Jones, and myself.
Thank you very much. We've been presented with the minutes from our last meeting on October 13. Are there any changes, comments, questions? If not, motion to approve?
Mayor Morgan, I have one little change.
Yes, sir.
Possibly on page 5. There's a reference to Pelican Avenue, and I don't think it's called Pelican Avenue. Tom, what's that road?
Pelican Lane.
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 Okay, so it's in item 4.
Okay,
And that I move we accept the minutes as
Second.
presented with that change.
well done.
Second.
Renee. Somebody reads them.
Oh.
Yes, Renee.
Commissioner Smith,
Oh, all right, yes.
Commissioner Orthwein. Yes. Vice Mayor Stanley.
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes. Mr. Dunham, any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor. Item number 11A, bid consideration, will be postponed to the December meeting.
Very
And-
good.
And I think, Trey, you have 2 items or 3 items to add to the town manager report.
Yes, I have under town manager reports, number 3, I would ask that we add agreement for water services. And then a new number 4, Australian Pines Protection Ordinance, just an update on where we are with that.
Okay, let's just make a note. Very good.
I also have one.
Yes.
Sorry, I just
Yes,
had
ma'am.
it. The public hearing, application number 1, would like to defer to next month. They failed to put it on the calendar today.
Okay, this is the Compton application.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So that is going to be put on next month's agenda, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're moving now.
When I didn't see him, I went and called him and he was profusely apologetic and said he had not put it on his calendar.
Are we looking to set a record today or something?
Well, my only comment is this is something that really could have been handled at staff level. We were doing it to expedite things. I kind of hate to
Well,
put them off another month.
Originally, it actually had something on there that would require the town commission action, and so,
But that's been withdrawn.
That's right.
It has. Would you like us to handle it on staff level?
Well, let's talk about this. You've all reviewed it. It's not,
I'd be happy to present on behalf of the applicant, if you would like. So we have.
why don't we do
It
that?
doesn't have to be here for
Yeah.
us to vote on it.
Right. So let's move forward
We have
with
a
it.
staff report and then discussion.
I'm sure they would be grateful.
All right, do you want to call the hearing to order, Mayor?
Yes, we're going to move now to the public hearing. This is with respect to 4120 North County Road. Mr. Nazaro?
Thank you, Mayor, for your review and consideration. We have an application at 4120 North County Road. It is before you today because originally it requested a variance for a water feature at the south west corner of the property. That has since been removed. It also had a non-conforming trellis that was, I think, approximately 3 feet into the setback. That has been remedied. So essentially, the reasons for it being a level 3 are no longer there. The application includes some modification to the front driveway, whereas it will now be a circular driveway. They're adding some entry columns that are consistent with the provisions within the north-south district. They're doing some other modifications to address drainage. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the west side of County Road and how the elevation changes significantly as you go down toward the golf course. They are revising their pool, meets the setbacks, putting in a special little plunge pool area that also meets the setbacks sort of toward the south side. And they have moved the pergola to a conforming area.
Any questions about the application? Comments? Staff's in support of the application?
Yes.
Very good. Is there a motion relative to it?
I'll make a motion to approve a demolition permit to demolish the existing pool.
Second.
Renee?
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley.
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes.
Secondly, I'll make a motion to approve a land clearing permit to clear some of the existing vegetation from the building site.
Second.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley.
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes.
Finally, I'll make a motion to approve a level 3 architectural site plan review to permit a new pool and pool deck, improvements in the motor court area, landscape improvements to the rear garden, and add additional front retaining walls for drainage with the following conditions. Any minor modification to the approved landscaping shall be submitted to the town manager for review and approval, and any major modification shall be brought back to the ARPB for review and approval prior to commencing of the landscaping.
Ms. Baszler?
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley.
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes.
Mayor, at my deferral, we skipped 2 things, so we need to go back to announcements and communication from public.
I'm sorry?
We need to go back to the announcements and communication from the public. We skipped them when I deferred.
Yes, I'm sorry. We
jumped
got
ahead.
discombobulated here. Our next regular meeting is December 8th, 2023 at 9 a.m. for anyone who wishes to attend. And we went over public comments. So if anyone wishes to speak, now is your opportunity.
Good morning.
Good
Mayor
morning,
Morgan. Morning. Am I to say my name?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. Julie Murphy, 815 Tangerine Way, Gulfstream. So good morning, Mayor Morgan. The second time round, so I know some of the ways to say good morning, and to the commissioners and to the other representatives of the town. I'm bringing up the development of Blue Water Cove. I don't know whether to call it a development on its own or whether it's really part of Plaza Soleil, because that still seems to be confusing. And I think it's quite important to know whether it is part of Plaza Soleil or not. I wanted to thank you, first of all, for the improved screening. So yay, we don't have to look at an eternal construction site for the next number of indeterminate years. I want to thank you for removing the stop street sign. So that's great. So it's wonderful to see that progress. There are just 2 things that I'd like to highlight. Mr. Dunham, the damage bond that you confirmed is required to be submitted by the contractor before construction begins on each of the houses, which would cover any damages to town property or roadways. I'd like to know if this is in place. Is it in place? You said it's required. And maybe now or at another, in a different forum, I'd like to know if or how it ensures that the developer makes good on any damage. If it's in place, are we protected by damage that will be made throughout construction?
Yes, we would withhold those, the cost of those damages. We would withhold the providing the damage bond after the project's over. If there are no, if it's not used, we provide that damage, we pay that damage bond back.
Okay, because I don't understand a lot of those administrative processes, but so I just wanted to understand that. The bigger concern is the roads throughout Plaza Soleil. So I don't know how many of the commissioners have been to Plaza Soleil, specifically not Blue Water Cove, in the last 3 months, 6 months, or a year, but the roads are in a shocking state, and unfortunately they look even worse now next to these brand new lovely, development next door. So if anything, there's been negative impact for the residents of Plaza Soleil. I haven't seen anything positive yet. And we are still to, live in an environment of ongoing construction and increased traffic. So I would request, please, and I know that there is Mr. Dunham, the 10-year capital improvement plan is in place. What I would like to know specifically, and there are many residents of Plaza Soleil who would like to know this, is when our funds going to be spent on our roads? That, you know, that's a serious request. They've been looking atrocious for quite a while. We don't match now. They needed to repair before the Blue Water Code development started. Now they look even worse. So I understand there are processes in place, there are budgets that get approved, but I would really like to know in that 10-year plan, when can we see improvements specifically to our roads? And I invite anyone who doesn't know what the roads look like to come and have a look. They're not great Gulfstream roads. I know there's lots of things going on both sides of the you know, the intracoastal, but I feel like we're kind of on our own there in Placer Soleil.
Yeah, we had all the
So-
roads evaluated by our engineers for the
Mhm.
entire town. They then made a schedule of those which were in greatest need of repair. And so there is a schedule under the CIP to address those roads, Sirianum and Plaza Soleil. I forget what period of time it is and where it fits in the schedule, but it is identified on the schedule.
I have that schedule in my office. I didn't bring it because
Well, we can provide it to Julie.
Sure.
I can, but I do know the days, 2026,
Oh,
because
okay.
it's already been asked by 3 or 4 residents. So that's the
All
answer.
right,
I've
good.
given.
There you go.
2026.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any way that it can be brought forward, or the funds that are now, you know, going to be coming into the
Well,
town
attend our
pocket
meeting
for-
on the initial part of the CIP and then you'll have a better idea of
No, I
the
don't do that.
progress
That's
that we're going to be
not my
making and
job.
following the schedule.
Yeah,
So
that's not
as
what I'm
of now,
doing.
that's the schedule.
Okay, so, all right, so to move it forward, we need to get residents from Placer Soleil to come and attend meetings and ask. Last time I attended a meeting here, I just felt like I was dismissed. And so it was just landing on deaf ears. I'm trying to find a decent and polite way to come and make our voices be heard and make a difference so that we can, you know, have
You're doing
our-
that. You're doing that right
neighborhoods.
now. We have
Okay.
public comment and everyone is invited to come and, you know, voice their concerns, their comments and compliments at times. But we've spent quite a bit of time and money scheduling the CIP program for the entire town. I don't see that being changed because so much time and effort has gone into scheduling it. So right now it's 2026. I don't see that changing.
Okay, then my work is done here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Anyone else wish to speak? If not, then let's move forward to the reports. Town manager, we have an
You
update
have
on
someone else,
2900.
Mayor.
One more.
Oh, sorry. You come up and speak at the podium. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning. My name is Salome Edgeworth. I live on North County Road.
Could you speak get a little closer to the mic?
Yes, sir.
I have a little trouble hearing.
No worries. My name is Salome Edgeworth. I live on North County Road. Good to see you, Mr. Dunham, and lovely to see you all. We have a street sign that says that it's 20 miles per hour on all streets in Gulfstream. Oh, sorry. And that sign is unfortunately not correct. There are other places where the speed limits are lower. I think that if any of you have driven down County Road, you will see that if you take that turn at 20 miles per hour, it's not good for anybody. And I would like to see that sign have some consistency with the rest of the town.
Chief,
Sir?
could you comment on the traffic
Yes.
and speed issue?
So in Florida, the speed limits as set for communities is 25 miles per hour as the lowest. Towns and cities and other municipalities can actually reduce that to lower speeds as a guide or point of reference. But the enforceable speed limit is 25 miles per hour in communities, with the exception of school zones and specific areas that have exemptions. That's probably why that was chosen originally.
Right.
But we can take a look at it and do some speed testing ourselves on that road to see if maybe we need to put a different suggested speed limit sign in place of that one.
And I think what she's suggesting is that one of the signs says that they're 20 miles an hour townwide.
Thank you,
And that
Mr.
we-
Dunn.
And that we have some that we actually have some signs that say 15.
I do
And
have
so-
all of the
so there's some-
consistencies
perhaps
noted.
some confusion in our signage, so we'll
Mhm.
look into.
Okay, so thank you for bringing that to our attention. Chief and staff will take a look at that
Okay.
issue.
I appreciate
For you.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in.
I actually, may I offer more new business or?
Sure.
Wonderful. I know that that our loving ducks are protected here, and in our Gulfstream rules, as are our cats, the feral animals that keep the vermin away or whatnot. On North County Road, there is a natural habitat for these animals, and I believe that a cat crossing sign would be appropriate, just as we have for the ducks, as they are protected under your rules.
The feral cats,
That's correct, sir.
yeah, we don't want to encourage feral cats.
No. But Gulfstream does protect them under your laws. They are a protected species. I have read the bylaws and I believe that there should be a cat crossing sign.
Oh, yeah, I think we go to great lengths to try to prevent feral cat infestation in town. We had quite a problem with it a number of years back. It's better now.
Right. I mean,
I don't think we want to do anything that would encourage.
well, I think the attorney may be looking for the section of the code that
The
she
bank reference?
Yeah, that's nothing that I'm familiar with or can find.
Yeah, I'm not either.
No,
Okay.
and that's fine. It's just something that I'm bringing up because they're just animals, then that's kind and that's it.
Yeah,
Right.
about 20 years ago, we had, just as an aside, we had a lot of feral cats here. And what was interesting about the town, we had no birds. You would drive through the town and there were no birds. It was really disconcerting. The town went through some great lengths to remove the feral cats and stop the assistance that some of the residents were giving to feral cats. And with that drop in feral population, our birds have come back. So there's a balancing act between
Assistance is
animal and
actually
wildlife here.
not legal. To feed a feral animal is not legal.
Do you know what happened too, not to interject, is that, when the feral cats, they were multiplying and there were a lot of disease and they were dying on the streets. So it was
That's
pretty
right.
cruel in general, just to
Mhm.
let them keep reproducing.
Awful. And there are a few people that when they are hurt, I'm sure take them in and get them fixed and do the appropriate things. But they are still here and they were here before we were. And they're
Well, thank you.
animals.
Appreciate
They're
the
animals just like
comment.
ducks, right? So
Thank you very much.
of course.
Okay.
I actually have another thought.
Another comment?
We do have a 3-minute limit.
Yeah, there's a 3-minute limit, but
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I can get up for each thing individually?
well,
No, it's aggregating for public comments. Just
Yeah.
Anything that's on your mind for 3 minutes, we've exceeded that, but if you
Great.
can do it in 30 or 45 seconds, I'm sure
Yeah,
the
that-
mayor won't
go
mind.
for it.
yeah, we'll certainly,
Yeah, we're pretty friendly up here, but we do have to get moving.
yeah, we have things to do, but please, if you could speak to
No,
it
hey,
briefly.
I waited for you, so I'm no problem. The Gulfstream stickers that we have, I think it's been noticed around town that, and if we go out to the parking lot, that people have some trouble following directions. The stickers are to be placed on the right-hand side of the vehicle. It's not a fashion statement, And I'm pretty sure that that's pretty easy.
There is no requirement for which side they need to be on,
I didn't think so. I thought you
It's-
could put it anywhere.
left or right,
Yeah.
But the middle's fine?
anywhere on your bumper.
On the bumper.
Yeah, anywhere on
Oh,
the,
okay.
yeah, the
And
rear.
my apologies, maybe that's been changed since I got my sticker 17 years ago. So, all right, great. I
Okay.
appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
no, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's move on to town management reports. Avenue au Soleil, 2900. Mr. Dunham.
Yes. I think the attorney is
We'll
going to.
defer that to Mr. Nazaro.
Thank you, Mayor. This is just an update from last month's meeting after the October commission meeting, which discussed demolition of the structures at 2900 Avenue au Soleil, easement abandonment, creation of new easements, abandonment of old water line, and installation of a new town water line. The contract purchaser has continued to move forward. Work that he had done prior to the meeting and continues to do includes engaging a surveyor to provide an updated survey, a utility company to locate by excavation the existing water lines to show their exact location on a survey, and for engineering purposes, an engineering company to perform civil engineering design work for the new water line, and an architecture firm to design a home that meets his needs and the requirements of town code. So he is, by all measures, a very serious purchaser and is doing his homework and moving that forward. The current owner has done some work. Most of it was required by the special magistrate as code enforcement. But the property is, is kept mowed, and, although the structures are clearly in violation, we hope that we'll see them demolished soon. We had an October 16th status hearing before the special magistrate, which set compliance dates to fix some existing violations relative to the structures in the seawall. He would need to obtain a permit for the seawall by December 1st, and he has obtained a demolition permit for the structures. So that is moving forward. The required demolition date pursuant to the special magistrate's order is December 4th, which is obviously before our next commission meeting. So we were hoping to get some sort of agreement before the commission now. Unfortunately, we were looking at a lot of engineering work that still needed to be reviewed by the town's engineers. It was not final from the contract purchaser. And then we needed a legal description to include as part of an agreement to provide for easements for both the big club and the town moving forward. So unfortunately, we're here without any agreement to take down the structure, but we do have an order requiring that to be demolished. And we anticipate an agreement coming before you next month that will require demolition of the structure. So again, subject to the availability of the contract purchaser's contractors performing the necessary work that I outlined before, I anticipate bringing before the town some agreements that will require demolition of the structures, relocate the town water line, outline the location of the new town water line easement, involve the big club because they've indicated that they will need to be involved in some of those discussions regarding abandonment of some of the existing easements in exchange for some new easements that are consistent with what infrastructure they have or need. And this is just a lengthy update on all the activities that the town and the contract purchaser have done to this date. I was really hoping that we would have a vacant parcel by the December meeting, but that doesn't appear the case. It's my hope that a Christmas present to the town is bringing those structures down. So that's the goal.
Trey, somebody's got to remind me to say that ex parte communication when we actually vote on this, but the property owner called me. I spoke with him kind of about the dates because, we all have a lot of different things going on as you articulated. So the special magistrate's date for demolition is December 3rd. And we have a very complex, with my understanding, we've got a complex agreement, which you alluded to, that's subject to review. It's probably going to be one of the more detailed agreements we've approved at the commission level because every paragraph is pretty serious other than a legal settlement agreement or something we've done in the past. Are we, is there going to be any penalty? I said, well, you need to talk to staff and Trey about it. I understand. I'm a town commissioner. I'm like a date's a date.
No,
We lay the
absolutely.
structure down even while the agreement's being negotiated. So I didn't know whether we're
What
a
I,
little room there.
Sure. So we do have an existing violation and we have a lien against the property for $200 a day. That's pursuant to some earlier code enforcement issues. The required date of December 4th is the 4th is pursuant to the special magistrate's order based on a duration, the regular duration between permit issuance and actual demolition closing out of a permit. So that there was like a specific, I think 45 days. We gave them a little bit more leeway. And in talking to the contract purchaser and the current owner's attorneys, I said, listen, this is a special magistrate order. We can go before the special magistrate. If you take it down a week later, that he'll certainly understand, and the town would not oppose, waiving those fees if the violation is cured very quickly after that time.
Okay.
The agreement also proposes to waive all fees and release all liens relative to the existing enforcement. Given the lack of progress that this particular property had made prior to code enforcement being initiated, I'm not really in favor of completely waiving the existing lien that we have. But obviously that's up to the commission. I know that we've reduced liens on this property and some other properties, but it was not super significant. I think that the last lien that we reduced on this particular property, we waived 90% of it, but there was an issue about recording and whether or not it was really valid. So I think it was just a compromise based on the strength of the claim for that particular lien. And then we had the Lavoie property at 2775 and some other liens that we reduced, but not a significant amount. So that'll be something that will be part of a discussion. But just to give you an idea, that demolition date is really just pursuant to the special magistrate, and there's no fine accruing.
They have the demolition permit, so if there's something presumably that we could approve, it doesn't require us to send it back on December 8th, then they need to have it down.
I would encourage them to come in as soon as possible because our patience is running out on this particular property. So to the extent you're reached out to, you could convey that message.
100%.
In talking to the attorneys, I said that this is just a straw man argument about whether or not it's going to be brought down. The structure needs to be brought down. It cannot be rehabilitated.
No.
The cost to rehabilitate would exceed the cost.
It needs to be brought down.
So, I just think that they're just kind of playing that waiting game.
Let's move on to the Water Cove update.
Yes, just briefly, I believe the whole entry guardhouse area is complete now, with the exception of the sidewalk on the south side, its connection to the road. We're still waiting on their engineer to design that so that I saw a lady pushing a baby carriage on it the other day, and it must have been difficult to get from the road to the sidewalk, but they need to finish that. As Julie said this morning, we were after them because they planted some plants that did not meet the specs originally, and they have replaced those, and they now meet the specs. Dina and myself, we have inspected 2 of the homes, of the first 3 homes that they built, and signed off on those. Expect the 3rd original house will be over there probably next week inspecting that. They have 4 homes that are going before the ARPB in November.
Yes,
Right.
they come before us next week.
Yes, 4 new
3.
homes. 3?
3.
Okay. Oh, that's right. They pulled 1. Yeah. They have built a retaining wall all along the south side of the Blue Water Cove development area between that and the homes on 2900. I'm sorry. So they're moving forward, and it looks very nice. I'm still amazed at how well the sign looks. So
Yes, that looks very good.
Can I just add to that? Julie's gone right now, but for the record, Blue Water Cove is a road in Place au Soleil, just like Indigo Point or Avenue au Soleil. Orchid Lane. Blue Water Cove is a road in Place Saucer Lane. That's what we've been telling the residents because they have,
Right.
we've had 2 or 3 call and say, is it its own development? It is not. It's part of Place Saucer
Right.
Lane as a road.
Public road, you can walk
Yes.
down it.
Right.
Right.
How about the split rail fence?
Yeah,
It's
is it
down.
gone?
That's
It's
gone?
down.
Okay, good.
It's
good.
down.
Very good.
Trey?
Anything else on that?
No, that's it.
Okay. Water service report.
Thank you, Mayor. So I know that we've mentioned discussions with Boynton Beach and the potential to transfer the water needs of the town from Delray to Boynton Beach. So Boynton Beach city staff have reviewed the needs of the town as far as volume and have indicated they can meet our water needs. They've proposed providing Gulfstream with water by connecting to our infrastructure in front of Place au Soleil, which currently exists on Federal Highway. This would require the city to run a line up Gulfstream Boulevard to connect at Seacrest, which is where they have an existing large line on the west. They would need the town to pay those costs of the project, which are estimated at $2 million. So it is a significant upfront cost. Assuming static pricing, given the amount that is the largest, the highest that Boynton Beach could charge us under the statute, and Delray Beach's offer that we currently have, we would recoup the $2 million at the start of year 7 of a 25-year contract. However, that assumes static pricing on fiscal year 23-24 for the city of Delray Beach. The city of Delray Beach is currently starting a rate increase, and it has for the last few years, to fund some of its, and I guess a new water plant. So the same amount of water today for fiscal year 23 would be $1.1 million with Delray Beach, and that would raise to $1.8 million, same amount of water, fiscal year 26-27. So we know that the Delray Beach pricing in the short term is going to be a lot larger. Boynton Beach has not enacted any rate increases the last few years, but they did go up from I think about 20 cents per 1,000 gallons. And just to give you an idea, the current rate in Boynton Beach is $2.38 per 1,000 gallons. Delray Beach is $3.25. So it's a pretty significant difference already. And again, that rate would rise to $5.28 by fiscal year 26. So staff is just looking for some direction on this because city officials have indicated that they want some sort of an agreement because we're out of an agreement, which we would kind of acknowledge that we're transitioning from their provider to Boynton Beach. I've hesitated to do that because we're not really sure whether or not we're going to do it, given the $2 million figure, and looking into the budgeting of that and whether or not that makes sense for us. It does appear that it would be recouped very much in the short term. I can't say what's going to happen in 15 or 20 years from now, but certainly in the short term, Boynton Beach has the ability to provide us with water at the same or better pressure, the same or better quality, just with and a significantly better price. So at this point, I just want to know if we should continue given that $2 million upfront cost, and continue negotiations, or if we should just cut off and tell Delray that we're ready to enter into a new 25-year agreement.
Ray, did they give you any estimation of how long it would take to run that line from Seacrest to US 1?
Yeah, I believe they were looking at,
and
sure.
bid, yeah.
I think it would be over a year. So there would be
Over a year
some
from
time.
an agreement to change.
Correct.
So I think we need to continue moving forward with it. We had asked Tom Smith to evaluate it, particularly in view of the CIP costs that have come in very high. So we just spoke about that this morning. Hopefully you can take a look at both items, give us your opinion on, at least your opinion on how we might move forward with this. It makes sense to go to Boynton, but the costs seem very high, and it just seems to me that you would need to have an agreement that sets in place the water costs, or at least limits the rise to a certain percentage
In the first
based on
5 years or something.
something like that. Otherwise, we could get stuck in a situation where they raise rates like Delray, and we are also out $2 million. So,
Yeah, Trey and I'll continue to pursue it and probably bring you something back sooner than next meeting. We'll try to circulate something in the next couple of weeks. Is that okay?
yes, it'd be great.
Trey?
All right, great.
Any comments on this? Pretty important issue.
No, okay.
Yeah,
Continue to
we'll
look at
yeah,
it.
just keep looking at it.
I'm
And
sort of leaning one way, but
When you go into a 25-year contract, like for the water, is it like, what is the rate increase per year? I mean, do you have a
Right,
fixed
right.
CPI or something?
Sure. So that would be pursuant to Florida statutes, the maximum you can charge an out of jurisdiction customer is 25% greater than the inside the city rate. With Boynton, they had, this is maybe 5 or 6 years ago, they took, I don't want to say took, but they negotiated, I think, Hypoluxo or one of the Manalapan provided customers, and they ended up taking them away from as a client from Manalapan, offering really low rates. So it was anticipated that maybe they would offer us really good rates as well. The projected figure is the maximum that Boynton Beach could charge us legally under Florida statutes. We may be able to negotiate even a better price than that, but it would just fluctuate as a certain percentage over their inside the city rate. So that's how it would be regulated. So to answer your question, we would really be subject to rising and falling rates based on what they're charging their in-city residents.
well, that percentage can be reduced. It doesn't have to be a maximum.
Correct. So it could be anywhere from 0 to 25%. The utilities director in Boynton indicated that they are not as interested as they were 5 years ago in giving you a really good rate. They would, look at charging closer to the maximum, but she said everything's a negotiation. So, and she understands that we are literally super easy. You don't have collections, you don't have any issues. You have 2 meters, you send us a bill and we pay you $1 million a year. It's very easy. We are a very, very low drama water client. So
you can lock in that percent rate for 25 years.
So that's what we would do,
So
right?
there won't be any surprise.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Well, any surprise would be, oh, we didn't realize that, we didn't realize, or we're now looking 15 years down the road, we need to budget for a new water plant, right? So then their rates might really increase,
Right.
but the residents are going to feel that squeeze as well. So when the utilities director was before their commission in September asking for, an 8% or fairly insignificant compared to what we're seeing in Delray increase, they fought her on it and they said, why are you doing this now? And she said, it's just, we haven't raised our rates in 3 years. This is just kind of to keep up with where we need to be. But again, it's still a modest increase compared to what we were seeing in Delray.
Okay. Wait to hear back from Tom Smith and staff, and then we'll put together some sort of proposal if we decide to move forward with it. Australian Pines report, Mr. Dunham.
I can handle that as well, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Nazaro.
This is his meeting. Yeah.
So that this came up as just kind of an added item last month because we saw some damage to our Australian pines across from Gulfview Road, where there was a site wall or something being constructed at the front of the property. Excuse me. We've since handled that, but we wanted to look at moving forward how we would prevent this from happening in the future. So I spoke with our town arborist, who provided a document that his office had put together for another client titled Tree Preservation Standards During Construction. He stated that any ordinance change should include tree preservation language from relating to industry standards, perhaps a meeting with the arborist pre-excavation that would happen within a certain distance from our Australian pines, and would address specific site conditions. He mentioned that with our water main project along A1A, the contractor working for the town implemented tree protection fencing that worked very well, with the goal to keep any construction equipment and things away from the roots and trunks. So I'm looking at probably amending the North Ocean Boulevard Overlay District language to require some sort of additional, some reference to Australian pines and specific processes that you would need to follow, which may just be as simple as consultation with the town arborist, if construction activities are going to be within 10 feet of existing Australian pines, something very innocuous and easy that gives us some leeway to sort of lean on his expertise. So that'll be coming up likely next month, given the commission's direction last month, and I just wanted to give you an update on that.
So I have a question for Trey. So the language that we come up with, would we perhaps include that in our construction handbook?
So one of the things that I thought was having
That's the time.
incorporating it into the construction site management handbook, which we have, which we can modify by resolution. So whether or not we reference that within the North Ocean Boulevard Overlay District modification, or whether we add it just as a resolution modifying the construction site management handbook, I don't know. I would probably prefer to have something at least in the code that requires the applicant to address what they're doing during the public hearing portion, which I did. I hate to pat myself on the back, but I'll do it when it's warranted. I specifically asked the applicant whether or not there was enough distance between the excavation and the Australian pines, and she was under oath and said yes. So I said, okay, I'm going to trust what you're going to say, and that ended up not being true. So obviously that was not enough. We need some additional review.
That was in one of our public meetings here, that question. So.
Good. I think we're all in support of that. Let's move forward with it. Get it in the overlay district, maybe even add it to the construction manual as well. Okay.
And that's it.
ARPB meeting is November 16th at 8:30 a.m. Finance report now, Mr. Dunham.
Yes, so there's nothing really unusual in this report. We will, as Lolita noted here, we'll receive our first ad valorem distribution this month for this year's budget during this month. So unless there's any other questions about it, I would ask that you approve it.
All right, any questions for the town manager? If not, let's move on to Chief Jones. Please report.
Good morning, Mayor, Commissioners. I would ask that you accept the report as submitted. There's nothing unusual in comparison to last year other than an increase in activity with traffic enforcement by law enforcement.
My goodness, what's this?
Additionally, I would ask, as the captain is passing out 2 patches, we have taken the effort to evaluate the police department's current patch, which is the white design patch. That patch, we cannot find really any historical value that complements the town or compares the town with the police department and connects us in any way. So when I became the police chief, I looked at the patch and I was trying to figure out its significant value to us as an organization, and we really could not figure that out. The seal that's in the center of it is the state seal, and it's, to be completely honest with you, very poor at best. So we designed a new patch, which is the triangular shaped patch that incorporates the town seal and the history of the town into the police department's patch and insignia. So this is what we would begin wearing on our uniforms in place of the old one, which would then create some kind of tie from the police department to the town other than, obviously our own knowledge and awareness of the connection. But this would allow us to then present who we represent when we're not in town as well as when we are in town.
I think it looks great.
Very nice.
It's very nice,
Good.
much nicer.
Thank you.
Good job.
It will take us, probably a year to transition so that we're not spending money unnecessarily on new uniforms. But all of our new officers and all of the uniform replacements that we will begin doing immediately, we will start putting the new patch on them.
Is this logo used on anything other than your patches, stationary vehicles, any other?
The only
Labeling?
thing, internal memos and some reports, for example, the monthly report that we submit to you, but it would be simple enough for us to just replace the logo and
That's all.
Yeah.
Like it.
Looks good.
Very good.
thank you.
Do we want to stick to 1925 on that patch? No, I mean, the founding year. I don't know. I just was looking up here and see.
We thought about actually doing that. The
Uh-huh.
artists that we had work on this project with the captain and I couldn't figure out where to put it without taking away some element that seemed more important. So we thought about taking the FL off the bottom and putting the date there,
Mhm.
but it seemed like we needed the FL there more.
I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
So
The only thing I know is the white from the previous patch stands out very well on your blue uniform, whereas the background here is blue.
yes, sir.
You want to put that over your patch? Let's see what it looks like.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Pretty
Sticks
bright.
out.
Yeah,
pretty
there you
good.
go.
The police is
That
nice.
answers
Right.
that.
The
Yeah,
yellow
that's-
kind of makes it
So the-
pop.
Yeah, you wouldn't normally think
Right.
that, but it almost pops more than the white.
They were very surprised at the number of color elements that we were requesting.
Yeah, it's got a lot in there. doesn't it?
By no means are we an artist, but when we drew this out and sent it to them, I don't know how they were able to read our minds the way they did, but
It's not a large force, so we can a little more attention to detail on it. So good job.
Okay, let's move on then.
Good idea.
In
Like it.
the police line with the mutual aid agreement.
yes, sir. So the mutual aid agreement is a countywide mutual aid agreement, which actually gives us the ability to assist other agencies as well as those agencies assist us, whether it be a traffic related event, an emergency incident, or any other request for assistance. We currently have this agreement in place. It expires in 11 months. So I believe they're going through the process now to try to get that done and coordinated before the expiration date, and it will renew. There's been no changes to the agreement. It's exactly the same as it was previously, but obviously it does require approval by the commission.
Right. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Basil?
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwyne,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley.
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes. I understand that Georgette Smith has resigned for personal reasons from the ARPB and her position needs to be replaced. The next alternate, I believe, is Michael Green. Is that correct? So I would propose that Michael be named to fill her spot.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
We do. And I just say
I
that
move that Michael Green fills Georgette Smith's position on the ARP.
Second?
Renee?
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwyne.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stanley.
Yes.
Mayor Morgan.
Yes. Okay, items by mayor and commissioners. Any comments?
Nope.
Yes, me. I am effective with the close of the meeting today, resigning as a commissioner of the town. There's 3 sentences here. I'll just read them in before I give this to you. It says, I hereby submit my resignation as a commissioner for the town of Gulfstream. I've been honored and thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to serve the town I feel so strongly about. It has been an added pleasure working with such a professional, exceptional group of employees. We have a very special place here, as we all know, to live and recreate, and I look forward to it remaining so for many years to come. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, thank you, Tom, and thank you for your service. I've worked with you on the ARPB. I've worked with you here on the commission. Hopefully we'll continue to work with you because your responsibilities are continuing now with
We will
the
do it.
financial review of some of the issues before us. But all I can say is we appreciate
Thank you,
your
Scott.
service very, very much. I'd like to,
You're not doing anything with Baxter today? Was that delayed?
no, I think the Baxter Woodman is went with respect to,
Oh, that's
That's delayed.
related to the.
that's what we're going to defer.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'd like to acknowledge the passing of our friend Kirk Orthwyne. And I don't know if anyone touched on this last week or last month or not, but the Orthwynes are one of the oldest families in the town of Gulfstream. as I reviewed it, it's been 3/4 of a century, perhaps more, that the Orthweins have been connected to this town. And so the passing of Perk is significant. Perk was a friend to all of us. He was, with his brother Jim, the patriarch of the Orthwein family. And that term patriarch, it connotes something stern or off-putting. That was not Perk. He was very friendly and approachable. Although he was very bright, he was hardworking, an astute businessman. He was someone whom, if you ever had a conversation with on almost any topic, he knew something about it, and he spoke eloquently and thoughtfully about that topic. But what I remember best about Perk is that he was a remarkable raconteur. He was a wonderful man to tell a story. He could regale you with a story that sometimes factual, sometimes apocryphal, but always with a sense of humor, sometimes a touch of sarcasm, but it always made for the most interesting story. And that's how I like to remember my time with Perk. He was a good husband, a good father, good friend.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Well, adjourn. Good. Thank you.